Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Thank you all for hopping aboard the Captain's Quarters show where I am never afraid to rock the boat. And don't you forget it. We have got to discuss Mayor Stephen L. Reed potentially appointing a certain somebody to be the new small business development director, all right, for the city of Montgomery. Now, the person that he has chosen, okay, to potentially take this position, the person must be approved by the city council. All right. So Mayor Reed naming this individual, all right, as a potential appointee is not a done deal until the city council approves it. Now, all right, why am I making this video discussing this situation? Glad you asked. Because the person in question is Donald Watkins Jr. Now you might be asking, who is that and why is this a big deal? Glad you asked. Donald Watkins Jr. is a convicted felon. Now, what crimes did he commit? Might you be asking? I'm glad you are wondering. He he was convicted of two crimes, all right? Wire fraud and conspiracy to commit wire fraud and bank fraud. Watkins Jr. was sentenced to 2 years and 3 months in prison. Following his release from prison, the judge ordered Watkins Jr. to serve 3 years of supervised release. Okay. Now, if you're wondering, okay, that don't seem like too much. Yeah, it's a lot. Okay. Because he was a part of a bigger scheme with his dad, Donald Watkins Sr., who also was convicted, but he was convicted of 10 counts associated with the bank fraud and the wire fraud, right? Because what they were doing was they were scheming NBA players and well-known people such as Charles Barkley. That's right. The Auburn star, the guy that went to the NBA and had a great career that's on TNT now. Yeah, that guy. So this was a overreaching thing, and it apparently it was over years and years that they were doing this. Okay, so now the dad he got 5 years. He did federal time. He did his five. He's out, and he has a website, DonaldWatkins.com. On that website, y'all can go read it for yourselves. I will link it in the comments. He talks about his time in prison, and upon his release, he doesn't show any type of accountability at all. I mean, that I read the letter. I don't see anything where he's saying admitting any guilt. As a matter of fact, the man is basically saying he was innocent. He didn't do anything wrong. All right. So y'all can read that for yourselves. All right. That's the daddy talking. Now, the son, I can't find too much about the son as far as upon his release, what he's kind of been doing. I don't really know. But it's crazy to me that the city of Montgomery mayor, all right, the mayor is looking at this guy to lead any type of department is crazy. Crazy. The man already has a propensity to commit fraud. All right. Why would you put a man in position that has been convicted and you want to put him over a financial based department dealing with small businesses, trying to grow small businesses and get them connected and get them more resources and that type of thing? It's very odd, very strange, right? But like I said, the city council has to approve this. But this is wild. All right, wild. People should be very concerned that this is even a thing right now. Now, this is according to 1819 News. Shout out to them, friends of the show. They got some information from the Montgomery Personnel Board. All right. And it says that Reed is requesting that Watkins Jr. receive a salary of $120,960. All right. Yeah. Now, when Watkins Jr. was found guilty and sentenced and all that type of stuff, um, he and his father were ordered to pay restitution in the amount of $13,850,000. Y'all heard that correctly. All right, that is correct. All right, y'all heard that right because they were scheming millions of dollars. All right, so yeah, they got to pay restitution in the million, tens of millions of dollars. That's right. Let's see here. As a matter of fact, it says Watkins Jr. and his father, Donald Watkins Sr., were convicted in 2019 for running a quote complex investment fraud scheme by which they stole more than $10 million over the course of 7 years, and that is according to the Department of Justice. All right. So, hey, with all this information that you have at your disposal, all right, to listen to me talk about, you can go read it for yourselves. I will link 1819 News in the comments. I will link Donald Watkins Sr.'s letter that he put out in 2022 upon his release. I will link that into the comments as well. Go back, go read that for yourselves. Also, I will link some court documentation, okay, that what it does is anybody that may have a question about certain things, about the validity, all right, of anything I've talked about, that will put all that to rest. And again, Senior has not taken any type of accountability for what he did. He basically said he's innocent. Okay, you're not innocent, sir. You're guilty. You're a fraudster. Y'all know it's funny how Mayor Reed called a certain somebody in this city. I know y'all probably remember this a few years back. All right. Mayor Reed did a press conference and he called Charles Lee a shyster, a hustler, and he used some other word too. I forgot what the word was. Maybe it was a liar, but he definitely called him a shyster or a swindler, something along those lines, and a hustler. So you called that man those words, all right, publicly, but yet a man who actually has multiple convictions for being a fraudster, right? A schemer, a scammer. You decide to hire that person to run a city's department. Y'all, this is Mayor Reed. This is what he does. This is nothing new. Okay. This is just more evidence for everybody to say, you know what? As a city, we have screwed up. Okay. All right. We've screwed up. We've elected this man twice. All right. I say we because just talking about the city. All right. There's a lot of us that didn't. I didn't vote for him the first or the second time. But let's just, we here we are. Here we are. So this is just further evidence. All right, let's make better decisions going forward. All right, this man is not who we need leading the city. All right, anyway, I'm gonna let y'all marinate on what all's been talked about. Okay, and let the city council know they better not approve this guy for this position. All right, y'all hear me? They better not approve this man for this position. All right, anyway, um, y'all be sure to leave me a like, comment, share the video, follow my page, L Milliner. I am giving you straightforward, honest commentary on news, politics, and hot topics. All right. I'm gonna see y'all next go around. Until then, I am gone.